Oblivious Penguin, you can't get muted and then argue with the mods about the mute. Also nuts. Don't reflexively mute people. There, I fixed the problem. I took both sides. Look, the mods at OKBV worked really hard to put all my posts in the OKBV curated list. That doesn't help. And the oldest people are also Hitler? Well, that's also true. I hate this trend where developers will keep their games in early access for a decade. Just release it. Trump admin announces plan to build nuclear reactor on the moon. That's great. Sure, whatever. Sure, whatever, man. That's great. Okay. That would be great for a moon base, though. How would you do heat dissipation on a moon base? Like, you have to, for all the water you're using for heat dissipation, you have to bring that up in a rocket. And that's like a lot. Radiators? Radiating to what? It literally radiates into space? Yeah, but thermal radiation into space is much, 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 much slower than heat transfer from a radiator to the air or to water. Not if you do it at high temp. I guess that's true, because you could do heat dissipation from steel radiators, and you could have that steel just be at like 1500 degrees or something. So you would have like more efficient heat radiation. I feel like the engineering challenges would be very difficult. I don't know enough about it to say how. Also, if we're gonna go for energy on the moon, wouldn't like solar panels make more sense? I don't know. Half a month of darkness? Then build them on the other side, too! They could use geothermal? Could they? Does the moon have a molten core? Isn't it cold all the way through? No, the Google says the moon does have a molten core. No geoactivity? I don't know. You got something. You would have to dig through like an insane amount of cold rock to do it, though. Like in our case, the Earth's crust is just like a tiny layer on top, and then you're in the mantle. Whereas with the moon, you'd have to dig through like, yeah, 1,000 fucking miles of cold rock to get to it. Kind of cool that it has one, though. So I guess there's just no geothermal activity because there's no, like, there aren't plates on the moon. The crust of the moon is thick enough that it's effectively just a solid rock body. Like it's not floating on the mantle, really. There's no movement going on. No moonquakes. What kind of food is on the moon? Cheese, I imagine. Oblivious Penguin, you can't get muted and then argue with the mods about the mute. Also nuts. Don't reflexively mute people. There, I fixed the problem. I took both sides. Your mute was justified. We don't allow unprompted comments about the attractiveness of women on stream anymore. Okay, so the problem that I noticed when it came to people making comments about other people's appearances is that you guys suck at it and I'm good at it. If I make a comment about somebody's appearance, you have the ability to like chastise me in the form of like you know, condescending frog emotes, right? But the problem is every time we had somebody on stream who was pretty, and the main thing this came about is when I was talking to somebody on call, right? Talked to Katie Wilson the other day, wasn't looking at chat during the time, but you know, you talk to some content creator or whatever, some lady, and people in chat, you know, are being weird. They're posting the little emoji with the, yeah, that one, with the blushy eyes. You can't do that to people we're looking at or talking to. But the problem is, if you can't do that to people who you're talking to live, that you probably also don't want it being done when you're just looking at ladies in general. Now, you guys are often annoying about it with men as well, but it is different because as much as you guys like to pretend you're all queerish, a lot of you queerish still like women more, you know? You're less obnoxious about it. But I've muted people before for being obnoxious about, you know, finding men attractive when they're on stream. You know what I think annoys me the most? I think what annoys me the most is the ooh-woo small bean attitude a lot of you guys take. If you want to like sexually comment on somebody, I think you have to take some ownership with it. That's what the booba emote is for. I mean that. I don't like the flushed emote, you know? Like, if there's a hot lady with her tits out, like Sydney Sweeney or whatever, you know, your booba posting, that makes sense to me. That's literally what it's for. But it's like, ooh, I want her to step on me. I find that stuff creepier, personally. It comes across as more disingenuous. It's like performative male behavior, right? Not to say it's always men doing it, but it's that, like, you know, oh, I can't be sexually lascivious. I can't be, you know, imposing because I'm doing it in like a submissive way. So it comes across as like indirect, and lacking in confidence. You understand what I'm talking about? I'm just talking about gripes. Can we say you're hot, Vaush? No, I don't know why people do that. People still sometimes, they call me daddy or they email me. They call me dad. I don't know why you guys, I'm not picking up on it. I'm not. I've been muting people for ages. I just don't get what, if you want to say the fit's fine, I'm just wearing a t-shirt right now, so don't say the fit's fine at the moment. But if you think the fit's fine, that's one thing, you know? The fit is not fine. There we go. I think the problem is the booba emote is limited and the flushed emote is not. You're right. That's a legitimate issue. That's a moral crime that I will fix. Can we call you Unk? You can call me Unk. Kaka emote next. We don't need booba and Kaka, okay? We can replace booba with Kaka if you want. We need a sniffa, you coward. That would also be gated behind a sub. What's your quick take on a ballot initiative to abolish property tax here in Ohio? Fuck that. No. Property tax needs to go up. Up. Needs to go up. Do you have any idea how low property tax is in California? It's like choking states dry, you know? It's killing them. Functionally, abolishing property tax, all it does is subsidize old people who don't work with the money of young people who do. It's fucked up. So much housing is owned and resided in by boomers who just like sit in 2 rooms out of the 50, you know? That's a big debate in the UK right now. Yeah, because the United Kingdom is a gerontocracy. It's fucking pensioner-occupied governance. Yeah, exactly. If they don't work, how will they pay for it? With their savings, with their retirement. And if they don't have the money, then they don't get to hold on to it. It's just how the world works, you know? Land isn't an infinite resource, okay? We're not talking about you know, digital file sharing or whatever. If a bunch of old people who are economically unproductive don't even have the money saved up to reside in these houses, they're paying no property taxes. It's like a dead area. It's dead economically, you know? Property tax should be income based, not just property value based, especially second homes. Second homes. So you think unemployed people should not be able to own homes? If they can't pay the property tax, then like, yeah. I think that you can, there are like carve outs that you can do for certain exceptions, but like I know it sounds spooky, but you have to think like in a practical sense, what having no property taxes looks like, you know? Like there are other things I'm interested in shoring up on this, right? Like UBI or tax rebates on certain things. But in a practical sense, we have seen what artificially reducing the property taxes in a state looks like, and it is wretched. It robs so much wealth. Why not just tax wealth instead? Well, a wealth tax would be great. But we're not just talking about money. We're talking about like boomers who hold on to massive swaths of land and do nothing with it, you know? Like there are entire like visible from space size communities where the entire neighborhoods are owned by old people. The houses are way too big for these old people. They bought these houses back in like 1962 or something, you know? Yeah, the problem ultimately is with land speculation and the commodification of land. But you run into this issue where like inevitably wealth in a land sense, like land acquisition, ends up flowing upwards to the oldest people, and the oldest people are the ones who are least capable of taking advantage of that land. You know? And the oldest people are also Hitler. Well, that's also true. It's about forcing people to do something profitable with the land, basically. It's not about profitability. It's just that at the end of the day, there is a finite amount of land. Land is valuable in a way a lot of other things aren't, you know? It is necessary and it serves utility differently in different areas. And if you have areas of a city that are going to waste because old people are sitting on them because they've acquired the land and they're not even paying property taxes, like it turns it into dead land, and it robs communities of wealth, and it starves these states dry. It fucks them up, you know? Watch the video? You can't tell me what to do. What the fuck is this? Chat say y'all want to watch it. You're booking a straight ticket to not getting your links looked at in the future. Someone to rely on me. Copyrighted music, I see. I see. I got an email from that person the other day saying I'm gonna keep posting pictures of bears to OKBV until you finally do OKBV. I gotta say, you people really don't help yourselves. When I could like sort of create in my mind the impression of insufferable, emotionally immature people who treat me not as a person who wants to make decisions about what content I want to do, but rather as like an entertainer who's obligated to peruse the memes that have been curated for me. This doesn't help, you know? Dance for us, monkey? Yeah. Well, that too, nuts. Look, the mods at OKBV worked really hard to put all my posts on the OKBV curated list. That doesn't help. You think creating a curated list helps? Imagine being a live stream. Imagine the incredible freedom that this profession allows me, and then you're being told like, hey, you've been given a list of images and videos to laugh at. Here, there's thousands of them. Go for it. Very unappealing in concept, you know? Even if they're good. Are you not banned there, by the way? Yeah, well, you can still look at it. Can always go there to rip into them. That's not how it works. Maybe this one would be better than Flushed. Slay? I don't know if people in chat are gay enough to handle that one. People in VGG don't have very good, what would you call it? They don't have very good, emote etiquette. They don't, it's true. Thanks for entertaining my request and playing my edit. It was a year in the making in reference to a post I made predicting the great OKBV drought. See, this is what I mean, okay? I feel like a big part of live streaming to me is engaging with the flippancy of the medium. You know what I mean? You go on, you talk about this, you talk about that, you banter, you talk with chat. It's all a fun time. And sometimes with the OKBV thing, I feel like you step into that room and there's 10,000 eyes latched onto you and everyone's like, here's my meme. My heart and soul have been poured into it, you know? You have to laugh at this. What happens if I look at a meme that doesn't make me laugh because it's the 180th image that more or less hits on the same beats that I've seen that day, and then the person who made it kills themselves? Like, it's a lot. It's a lot of responsibility, you know? What do you do when you can't laugh at it? You can't laugh at anything when you're looking at the 180th meme in a row after a year of being pressured to look at them. The hard work will deliver success in the AI school reminds me of the Auschwitz Gates. Work will set you free. It's a line where liberalism and fascism crosses, right? It's the myth of meritocracy. It's just that in the case of the fascist or the ethno-nationalist, the merit in this case is sort of a spiritual superiority of white people, right? Whereas the liberal, they talk about, you know, hard work. Unfortunately, genetic and effort-based ascriptions of natural superiority in an environment where we already assume that people who are successful must necessarily be very talented and hardworking, there's not much of a difference between them. You know what I mean? Like, the liberal belief that hard work is rewarded with success merges very well. It meshes very, very well with the belief that our elites must be naturally superior to us in some way, which allowed them to work harder. Any video games? I've been playing Terraria Calamity in a very, very, very rare modded game playthrough. But I've been too busy lately. I haven't really played games much. Do you like FTL? Yeah, but that game came out like 50 years ago. I've played FTL. I guess Terraria also came out like 50 years ago. There's a mod for it. I don't like it that much. Expedition 33 is pretty good. I've heard that. That feel when Vaush won't play Ultra Kill because it's not done yet. Well, then maybe they should fucking release it. I hate this trend where developers will keep their games in early access for a decade. Just release it and then come out with a 1.1 update down the line. Release the fucking game. Have the balls to commit to saying your game is in a finished enough state that it can be put out. Like Deltarune. But Deltarune isn't an early access. Deltarune is just releasing episodically. That's not the same. Like, it's not as though when you play Deltarune, you access content. It's like, oh, early access, we're not done with this. It's just you release them chapter by chapter. That's episodic release. That's not the same. Yeah, Ultra Kill has been an early access for an unacceptable length of time. Just got Pathologic 2. Do I need the first one to get it? No. Pathologic 2 on its own is just fine.